50,000, and they have come out in very good numbers today at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. But tonight we start Week 5 with a primetime matchup, as it'll be the Chicago Bears taking on the Washington Commanders. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about this Commanders team coming into play here today.
It's been a lost first month of the season, that's for sure, as they come in with an 0-4 record.
And the window's not shut on them, though. They still have a chance to make something out of this season, but it has to start right now.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Bears, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
And look at this. Right away, a loose football.
And it looks like one of the DBs has it.
And down inside the red zone at the 19-yard line.
So that a nightmarish start to a football game as they give the ball away on the opening kickoff.
And they put their defense in a bind right away. They have to go into protect mode.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Now motion left with Mooney. And he'll get it here on the touch pass. Oh, this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away.
And a lot of times these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it. They can't stop us.
Here now, 2nd and 4. From the gun, here's Fields.
And his throw is incomplete. The veteran tight end Mercedes Lewis, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and 4.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Here's Fields. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
They put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one. Force the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely frees up your guys elsewhere.
Gonzalez's kick is good. So the big return had him fired up, but in the end, the offense stalls out. They only muster 3.
Yeah, the excitement was there after the return, but they didn't move the ball at all after that. They didn't even get a first down.
Following the field goal on is Riley Dixon to kick this one away.
And here comes Danny Johnson now from his end.
And Johnson lost the football. It's loose, poked out. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
First and 10 here for Hal and the Commanders
at their own 19-yard line.
With a play fake, and now here's Hal to throw it.
Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
Now the second-year man from Alabama, it's Brian Robinson.
Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5. Now we're going to get a stoppage. Appears to be an injury. Field.
medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. 3rd and 5. Well, Hal's going to mix it up here.
They'll send the big tight end in motion right.
Now they go play action with Hal. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's going to have a Commander's first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
From the 38 now, here's a 2nd and 7. 2nd down and a run by Robinson.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage.
It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw it for a loss.
Hal throwing on 3rd down here.
Throwing middle, and it's complete.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. They give him 16 yards there, and it's a Washington 1st down.
And as a quarterback, you're always pleased when you can use all the weapons at your disposal. Here he spots his fullback underneath, gets the completion right there for a nice pickup.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
You look at this Bears defense.
This unit, they've struggled a little bit against the pass, ranked number 21 in the league.
And those are the kind of plays that this unit needs to make because they know that going against a team of this magnitude and the way that they're playing, they cannot afford to let them get on a roll early. Chip away at their timing.
Dotson in motion right.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. A yard in the wrong direction makes 3rd down tougher. 3rd down and 9.
This defense for the Bears, they had certainly had their struggles to start the season, but they put it all together in getting that first victory a week ago.
This defense certainly has a lot to be proud of coming off of last week's game because when you only give up 14 points in a contest, you give your team a great chance to win. The best defense in the league is usually going to average giving up 18, 19 points a game. So to be under that, a terrific achievement.
And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 29-yard line. 17 yards that time and a Washington 1st.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Hal throwing on 1st down here.
And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Jadeveon Clowney showing the explosiveness on the sack.
Well, that time, it looked like he essentially just ran right into the pass rush.
Yeah, partner, I'm not much of an outdoorsman, but the fish jumped right into the net, didn't he? Because you've got to make sure that you're deep enough that you can get around the defensive end, have an angle there. But he couldn't do it because he actually cut that one off. Really nice play coming off the edge.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Straight ahead, it's Robinson. And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. A nice job of just sticking the helmet down 9 yards on the play, but still 3rd and 12 now. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
They need 12 here. It's 3rd down. Samuel going to go in motion right. On 3rd down, Robinson. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at him.
So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
Each team with a possession, each team with a field goal as the kick is away. No run back here for Duvernay. Touchback out to the 25. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. They come off a victory over the weekend, but now the quick turnaround here for this Thursday night game. How does that affect how teams like this approach these short turnarounds?
Well, wins and losses always factor into, how you're getting ready for the next game. But equally as important when you have the short turnaround, what is your injury situation? Are you losing key guys? And if so, how well have the backups prepared for this? Because you don't have much time to get them ready. They have to be ready before this week in order to play well in this game.
The numbers for him from a week ago: 21 carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, obviously, he didn't have a great deal of time between games, having to turn around on a short week and get ready for Thursday night football. But he said in pregame he was feeling pretty good and felt more recovered from last week's contest than he would have expected. Didn't seem to think this short week was going to affect him much as he chases a big performance here in prime time. Mooney had a hair under 500 yards last season and only 2 touchdowns. But the year before, 1,000-yard season. 2023, a big year for his future with the franchise.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
Well, that turned out better than most of the passes he could have thrown on that snap. The coverage downfield was excellent, but the containment close to home left him a backdoor escape, and they paid dearly for not locking up.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Herbert. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
From the 25, here's 2nd and 6. On 2nd down, a run with Herbert. They'll be brought down at the 21 after a pickup of 4.
Back-to-back 4-yard runs. Now, look, if they just do that all the way downfield, ball ends up in the end zone, but that's a little difficult to do.
Yeah, I think now 3rd and 2, that defense ready to stiffen up and stop that run. They'll run with Herbert. Well, they needed 2. They could only get 1. 4th down.
What an advantage having an elite guy to build a defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
Matt Eberflus is going to take a risk here on 4th down. He is going to go for it. They'll go with a big bank Fournette. And he will have of the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. They only needed a few inches, and they didn't get much more than that, but by about the width of a shoelace, they convert on 4th down. So this offense able to convert on 4th, and now a fresh set of downs here, 1st and 10. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. He was out there waving his arms saying, throw it here, dropped it, not a good look.
Well, all I can do is just look at him with contempt on that one. As a defensive back, I'm saying, not as an announcer. Just like, really?
A little bit of a diva look, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so, because I think what happens is he just had too much time to think. He's wide open now. Here comes the ball, and he doesn't concentrate, drops it.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
A pass caught by Duvernay. Touchdown, Bears. Devin Duvernay, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bears have taken the lead. So the quarterback drops to throw, looks over, and boom, a guy that wide open, he has to be thinking, wait a minute, this is some kind of a dream. This is too easy.
Yeah, a great dream. One you don't want to wake up from. But for the defense, almost feels like there was a bust in coverage.
Zane Gonzalez on for the extra point. And it is up. And it's good. That'll make our score 10-3 now. Now after the touchdown, ready to boot it away, Riley Dixon. Out of the end zone comes Johnson. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Now Washington going to retake the field for drive number 2. They are currently mired in a losing streak. Now they get the short week for the Thursday night game. Do you see that as a potential positive, or is this just more in what has been really a string of bad luck for them?
Well, to me, it comes down to leadership, and leadership's got to spin it into a positive and make it an advantage for them. Yes, we're in a losing streak. Yes, no one thinks we can win, but we have the resources we need right here in this room. Let's go ahead and play better. Let's hang together and shock the world a little bit. Put it all together, they've got a chance of coming out with a W.
They'll go play action. Howell forced out to his left. And just not enough on the throw there. Down around his feet and incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them. And I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
Second and 10.
Delay of game, offense.
So a little tardy getting everyone set, and the clock hits 0 before they could snap it.
Yeah, you can take your time and use the clock and try and get set up, but once it gets near 5 seconds, that's when you often hear a quarterback yelling, hurry, hurry, to make sure everybody's ready to get the snap off.
And he gets this one just shy of the 35 to the 34. That burst good for 20 and a first down. His first carry of their second drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their first drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open and hurdling through them.
Back to Robinson now on first down. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. You look at this Bears defense. They come into this one ranked number 5 in the NFL against the run.
Now if they could just get their pass defense in line, this unit would be really, really strong. And remember the conversation with the defensive coordinator? He wants them to rush the passer better. He wants to see the quarterback on the ground. They've got to create some sacks.
And he said it starts early and often. We'll see if they can get to him. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
From the gun on 3rd down, Howell. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made here at the Bears 43. 10-3 our score after 1 here on EA Sports. Second quarter now from our nation's capital, and it's Washington in possession of the football. So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 43. Howell. And this will be incomplete.
Timing is crucial in any route thrown, but when you throw it out, so many things are going through the mind of the receiver. Catching the ball, timing it up with the quarterback. Are my feet going to get down in bounds? On that play, all those things going through his head might have caused him to drop it.
Here's 2nd and 10. Off play action. It's Howell. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield. So they take a decent shot, CD, and the flag comes out for pass interference.
Yeah, a little DPI, as they like to call it in the business, right? And the farther you get downfield, the more frenetic things get, and the more calm and control you have to remain as a defender. That was a little bit of a slip there, and the penalty will go against him.
And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 45 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and turn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Now here's a little touch pass as they tap it quickly to their receiver. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
Here's 2nd and goal, operating from the 8-yard line. Back to throw, Howell. And that is incomplete. Nearly intercepted. The free safety couldn't quite get his hands around it, and it brings up 3rd down.
Oftentimes when you see a tip ball, one that's popped in the air, it looks like it's going to be an interception. Sometimes the guys try too hard or they fight each other and knock each other off the ball, and this one ends up falling to the ground.
And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. 4th down now after a loss of 2. Such a long drive here. 3 points. That would be a disappointment, but I don't know if you can go for it here, can you?
Well, you know, the defense was really giving them a lot all the way downfield, and now they've stiffened. Forget that bend, don't break. Now they don't even want to let them get a yard, do they? So in this spot, you remember what the coaches told us before the ball game? Any drive that ends with a kick is going to be okay with us, whether it's a punt, a field goal, or an extra point. Take the field goal right here.
So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
Duvernay going to sit on this in the end zone, so it'll come out to the 25. So here are the Bears to take over on offense. Last week they defeated the Broncos, and they've got the lead here as well as they work with a 1st and 10.
Here we go. You got a mini base.
They'll start out here with the option left. Fights off the defender. Yeah, he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Oh, man, that wasn't far from breaking in a big way into the secondary. Read option, quarterback kept it. And while he didn't get a 1st down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Only a nice tackle prevented it from maybe going all the way.
Here we go.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Now Fields going to move him around. He'll decide to keep this once more. Now he's free at the 35. And he's going to get this all the way down to Washington's 28. That one good for 37 yards. What a run there. I mean, you got speed, elusiveness, escapability all rolled into one.
And we all know that quarterbacks are coached to get the ball to the guys who can do all the things you just described. You want those guys who have speed, elusiveness, and escapability all rolled into one with the ball in their hands. And guess what? It's him. So there's no sense in throwing.
Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. The safety blitz turns out to be a great call defensively as they sack him for a loss of 9. That time, finally, a measure of revenge as they get him down behind the line.
It almost felt like relief, didn't it? Because with the success he's had throughout this game, you'd almost expect him to get free and pick up 10 to 15 every time he takes off. Not in that case. That has to feel good for the defense.
On 2nd down, here's the option. He's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
And if you like defensive football, focus on the defensive end on this play. He does everything exactly right. Reads the play and makes sure he spills it for a small gain.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Caught right side. It's Lewis. Well, we get a stoppage because, as you can see, a member of the Commanders in some obvious discomfort. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Now Zane Gonzalez for the field goal try. Made his first. This now from 46 yards away. Gonzalez's kick is good. And that'll open the lead up to a touchdown now at 13-6. So a nice kick there as they add 3 to the lead.
And from what I've seen so far, Brandon, I think they've been the better of the two teams here in the first half. So even though you want the touchdown, I think that's a nice job there to put 3 points on the board.
And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. A touchdown would tie it. They trail 13-6 as they come up with a 1st and 10. Faking the handoff. Howell. He gets it to Thomas. And that's good for a gain of 6. And it's 2nd down.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Second down. Howell back to pass. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. Jadeveon Clowney. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half.
Chalk that one up to bad acting, I guess, because they certainly failed to sell the handoff, and the pressure stayed keyed in on the quarterback. No Oscar awards for this offense, just a loss of yardage.
Howell, he'll look to throw it. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's going to have a Commanders first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And that's well executed there on third down, and I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
First down, Howell to throw. Going to be caught downfield by Dotson. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Brandon, so many times we see the crossing route start as a quick hitter, but in this play, he had time in the pocket and waited for him to clear going across.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 down at the 33. Met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain there as he kept it himself at 2nd down. Howell changing the play here. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Sliding out of the pocket. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
A 3rd field goal of the first half, not what they're looking for as they come up on 3rd down. On the counter, this is Robinson. And he'll get this one down to about the 27. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stopped them for almost no gain.
A 44-yard attempt.
Sly able to put this one through, and that'll bring him back within 4. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
Washington kick team back out there now as they will send this one away. No run back here for Duvernay. Touchback out to the 25. The Bears offense out there set and ready to go. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns. early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
On second down, here's a keeper by the QB.
And holding it may be the wrong decision as he stopped in the backfield. That second down play nets a -4. The offense on third down tonight, they've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 14. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
So here's a 3rd and 14. On third down, Herbert. And he will get him down a couple yards shy of the first down marker. A nice tackle coming up from his free safety spot.
They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down.
They had quite a hole to dig out of there on 3rd and long. Not able to get the first, but a pretty good size run.
A really good run, but how much confidence do you have in your next play call that you can sell to the head coach? Let's go get it on 4th down. Do you really have a play you believe in, or are you just hopeful? And you got to sell it to the big man before it gets called.
That'll be a 43-yard punt, just a single yard on the return.
And the Commanders will take over with a 1st and 10.
They begin the drive with Robinson, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage.
Howell trying to get his offense to hurry up and get set.
It's a loss of 2. Brings up 2nd and
And the defense, they get to Howell. He'll go down here.
Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
3rd and long, here's Howell.
Eluding the pressure, under pressure again, and down he goes again. Now we're going to get a stoppage. Appears to be an injured Bear on the field.
The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside.
And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. Taking a couple yards shy of midfield.
A nice return that time, gets 12 yards back.
And it'll be a short field for the Bears as they take over 1st and 10.
The Bears going to take over now late in this first half.
The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
On 1st and 10, here's Fields.
Dancing to his left. And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
His running ability has been an extra dimension of their game plan thus far. For once, though, he doesn't create any magic against the front that's prepared for him to try and take off.
Here we go.
Ball on the 35. Here comes 2nd and 5.
Go.
Fields.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
No surprise there. Chase Young wrecks that play with a sack.
Now the Bears will use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half.
Here we go.
So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long. Now it's Fields. That throw right side here going to be incomplete.
That's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
Dixon, the punter, is on as he sends it away. And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line.
Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't it?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they place them and try and put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
They're set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And they'll begin inside their own 10, so field position certainly not in their favor here. Finding space at the 40. And he's going to step out of bounds all the way down on the other side of midfield. A big play there on the catch and run. 47 yards.
Despite writing it down on my notes, I never give enough credit to the offensive line, and we have to here. The protection, that's what made this play a success. Quarterback had to wait for his crossing route to develop, and that takes a little bit of extra time. Excellent job by the big fellas up front.
The man in motion is Brown. One last shot before the break. Howell. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and CD in a minute. First, it's time to take a look at what we've got coming your way this weekend in the NFL. Some great games on the docket for this weekend, the first being at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. The early start between the Bills and the Jags. Excellent games in the late afternoon window as well. One being out in Los Angeles, where it'll be the Rams taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. And then on Sunday night, the national audience in for a treat. They've got a good one lined up between the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. We were certainly treated to an entertaining first half. Both these teams with some high points and maybe a couple of low points as well. So it's going to be a question of who can be the most disciplined team going forward. Both teams currently making their final adjustments. We're getting ready for the second half. So we'll send it back up to FedEx Field and hand things back over to Brandon Gott.
Okay, Coach, yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. Set to resume. Here we go with the second half. The Bears holding the lead and ready to receive the kick. Duvernay now going to bring it out. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. Charles, for them, pretty good first half on the ground. They had some success running the ball in quarters 1 and 2, and they've got the lead now, a chance to expand upon that lead here with their first drive in the third quarter.
Yeah, believe it or not, you and I have noticed that this great game of football has shifted towards pass first, run second. So for me, it's really nice to see some of these teams keeping the ground game as a big component of their offense, and it's working pretty well for them now. And let's face it, they can continue to do damage with it. And in addition, it sets up the pass game really well for them too.
They've got the lead early here in the third quarter, and runs like that are how they establish that lead in the first half.
I love the fact that you're using the word lead because they are leading from the front. pounding on the defense right now with the running game and truly establishing themselves here in the second half.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a third here, and it's good for a first.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 46. Herbert powering up the middle. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Don't jump.
Second down and a yard. Herbert once more. And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down.
Face mask. Defense.
Well, you hate that defensively. They had him pretty well corralled, but the face mask, that obviously changes things.
Yeah, it's a bit frustrating because you feel like you did everything right. You had him stop, but the hand gets up just a little too high, and the natural inclination is to hold on, and that's going to get called every time.
Now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Back to throw. Fields. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up 2nd down.
He certainly did his best to find something on that run, but there just wasn't enough time to make it happen. Nice effort there, avoiding the sack and getting back to the line of scrimmage. That one certainly could have ended up worse.
Off play action. Fields. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Montez Sweat, the man that time to fight in and drop him.
The passing game's been struggling a bit today, and that was the latest example. Haven't been getting much yardage out of it, and now on his back after the last play, he faces 3rd and long.
So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long. Here's Fields. Buying time to his left. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 16, but they'll remain short of the marker, and it's 4th down.
Fast, slow, it doesn't matter. If you give a quarterback enough room to escape, he can... game. You've got to give them a little more focus moving forward.
And no field goal try here from the red zone. Offense out there. They'll go for it on 4th. They're going for it. Here's Herbert. And he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. The Bears tried it on 4th down, unable to convert. And Washington will have it on the turnover on downs. Well, their first 4th down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again. See, on the defensive side of the ball, though, any fourth down stop is a big momentum play.
54 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
This has certainly been a physical game so far. Limited scoring opportunities for both sides, and there's another chance that goes unfulfilled.
An incomplete pass on second down leads us to 3rd and inches. Robinson will try to pick it up. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
Again, it's Robinson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Powell's right complete there to Thomas. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 15 yards the pickup. First down, Washington.
And it's pretty evident that this passing game has been frustrated so far. They haven't really moved the ball the way we might have expected, but this is a good pickup here for the first down.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Throwing here, Howell. That's out wide here for Robinson. So the completion gets him just a yard, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
Well, the play fake, and now here's Howell to throw it. And that is going to be incomplete as he let him a bit too much.
The touch and timing are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
Now play number 8 on this drive, and they need 9 yards to pick up the first on 3rd. Another throw for Howell. And this is going to be incomplete.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. Taking it about the 16. It's a 42-yard punt, but 8 on the return, and the Bears take over. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't even want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A first down, a 16-yard gain.
And this is a rarity in the NFL, a 100-yard game on the ground for a quarterback. Even as those passers get more athletic and mobile, we only see about 5 of these a season. It takes a special set of circumstances for it to happen, and of course, a special player.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Now Fields going to keep it running left. It'll be a pickup of 5 on the keeper. It's 2nd down. A little do-it-yourself run right there and a nice gain.
And I like that he knew that that was about all he was going to get. So he did a nice job of protecting himself, took care of the football, took what the defense gave him. If they continue to allow him to do that, they'll find their way taking what they can all the way to the end zone.
Fields going to keep it once more. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Here's a give to Herbert. And he's got enough for the first across midfield to the 48. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
There are a lot of different formulas to winning football, but one constant over the years, winning on 3rd down. That pickup there was big because they had struggled throughout this one.
Here we go.
From Commanders territory now, it's 1st and 10
at the 48-yard line.
From the gun, here's Fields. And he will find the open man. It's DJ Moore. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 14 yards in a Chicago 1st down.
Even against double coverage, he found enough of an opening for a noticeable gain. 2 guys on him, yet he finds a way to uncover downfield for the completion.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Fields now to throw. Locates Mooney on the out route. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. A 14-yard pickup. That's 14 yards on 2 straight plays. With that grab, he now sits at 200 for his career, and maybe more importantly, a 1st down. A handoff for Herbert.
And he'll get this one down to about the 17. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was a
touchdown! Khalil Herbert from 17 yards out as his guys are able to extend their lead.
That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the 3rd quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is let you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you have taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
Now after the touchdown, ready to boot it away, Riley Dixon. Danny Johnson returning. Here comes Johnson on the return. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. And Washington going to come back out here to take over offensively. The last series for him, a little disappointing, forced a punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10. Howell and the Commanders come up now 1st and 10 at their own 22. And the defense, they get to Howell. He'll go down here. Jadeveon Clowney in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, I like the calmness of how he played the ball here. No panic in his eyes as that throw arrived. Tracked it from the moment it left the quarterback's hand, and that's just where he needed to be to knock it away.
And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. And the offense moving quickly to the line. Howell going to audible to something else. On 1st and 10, it's Gibson.
And no room that time, getting it to about the 46.
Stopped on the play by Jaquan Brisker.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Now this throw caught left side. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. 22 yards there, a first down.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Howell from the gun. He's got Thomas yet again complete. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. Another first down as they call his number again. He's got 15 yards here. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now at FedEx Field. It's Washington with the football, but trailing here as we begin quarter number 4. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Now Howell. Checks this one down to Robinson. They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it, and that will bring up 2nd down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. And now time will be called here as Washington has an injured player down on the field. Well, hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. They'll break the huddle and come up on the 9th play of this drive, needing 5 yards on 3rd down. Back to throw, Howell. And that's going to wind up incomplete. Nearly their first pick of the game, but it does bring up 4th down. Another good drive, Charles, but it looks like another that might end in a field goal try.
They've made some nice plays. They've given themselves opportunities, but as you noted, another field goal attempt coming up. And that's not how they want to end drives. They've got to figure out what's the final touch that they need to push it across the goal line.
Touchdown, Washington. De'Ami Brown, his first touchdown on the year. And the Commanders have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. So how about that for an answer? They get the touchdown there, and it's back to a one-score game here in the 4th.
And that's what these guys have done all game long because they've scratched and slashed their way to stay in this game. And by now, we should all realize they're not going away. Now the pressure getting switched to their defense because they're going to need to find some way to get the ball back.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait for a few years of 2-point tries and see what the data tells us. Because a lot of teams want to throw the ball in this situation, this time unsuccessfully. I just wonder if maybe running the ball might be the way to go.
With it moved up from the 3 to the 2, you would think maybe a few more attempts at running.
I think stats over time may bear out that running the ball will at least be the equal of throwing it in that situation.
Fields and the Bears now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Here's Fields. His throw incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. They'll run here with Herbert. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 63 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there. And on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation when they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously. But at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
On first down, it's Fields. And this will be caught by Mooney.
And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
And these guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the fourth quarter.
So the ball moves from their own 41 to the other 41 here for 1st and 10.
Fields going to keep it running right.
And he'll get it down to the play to the 37. It'll be a pickup of 5 on the keeper. It's 2nd down.
Now that's what he can do when he keeps the football. It's not a huge gain, but it shows how hard it can be to stop him.
Yeah, and I thought the defense had that one pretty well contained. And, in fact, they probably came up and felt pretty good about what they did. Then they looked up and realized he still got good yardage out of it. He's a tough guy to stop.
That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up.
They'll run here with Herbert.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
Fields going to change things up here. Another carry for Herbert on 2nd down.
And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means it might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word, put it in bold. Here we go. Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. So decision time now, because a field goal keeps it a 1-score game. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm looking at the down and distance, and that's where the issue comes in. It's not short enough that it's a no-brainer and you go for it. You have to analyze this one. To me, you take the field goal, take the points. I don't think you want to risk coming away with nothing.
A big one coming now for the kicker, Zane Gonzalez. This to put him a touchdown and a 2-point conversion up. Gonzalez's kick is good, and that'll push the lead up to 8. But from a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a 1-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Here we go on the next drive for Washington. And remember, despite giving up the field goal, this is still a 1-score game. They're in need of the touchdown and a 2-point conversion. A field goal on this drive likely doesn't do them much good. 1st and 10 here for Hal and the Commanders.
At their own 25-yard line.
Here's Gibson to start the drive.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
And result of that one, a nice 4-yard gain, so you can use that to set up your play-action game, or you can come right back and continue to run the football, because as an offensive play caller, you're on schedule and feeling pretty good about your next couple of calls.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30.
Second down, Hal back to pass.
He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
Well, it certainly appears to me that the defensive guys are starting to look a little bit tired, while he still has some fresh legs. Not the biggest gain we've seen on a scramble, but still some positive yardage on a play that initially looked like a sure win for the defense.
Slips up past the 45 before being tackled. And that one will go for 13 yards on the keeper and a 1st down.
How about that there? No frills, no additives, right? Nothing crazy. Just find a way to pick up the 1st down. A nice run right there.
They'll go play action. Howell. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. That sack by Tremaine Edmonds.
Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number is just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Howell.
Short throw here to the tight end Bates.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
That one downfield for Dotson. And this is caught inside the 5. Touchdown, Washington. Jahan Dotson, 59 yards. And the Commanders have a chance to tie things up as they trail by 2 here in the 4th.
Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, 2nd year in the NFL. And I don't know if last year as a rookie if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that, so he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the 2nd-year quarterback.
And he's got it. The conversion good, and we are tied in the 4th. Still time to work with on the clock, but they wanted to tie now, and they got it.
And I love their aggressiveness. Go ahead and get it done, get the game tied. Now your team has the momentum, and you're staring across the field saying, let's see if you can match us.
Boy, what a start to the week this has been. All tied 4th quarter as the kick's away. Duvernay now going to bring it out. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The Chicago offense set to get started. Well, they just gave up the score to tie it. That's the bad news. The good news, plenty of time in this 4th quarter to try to grab that lead back. Now Herbert to start the drive. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Fields. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the 1st down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Throwing on 3rd down, Fields. And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. Montez Sweat, his 2nd sack of the night.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. A 40-yard punt, 1 yard on the return, and it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. Jahan Dotson, the Commanders, set to take over. They might want to mix something up defensively because he's been shredding them a bit, hasn't he?
That he has, and even with all the changes that you know are going on the defensive side of the ball, he's still finding ways to get open, finding the right spots, and the delivery's been pretty good too.
He's over 100 yards, has the 1 touchdown score to this point. Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately, had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
The fumble on 1st down. Now here's 2nd down. Once more, Gibson. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
It
kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to third and manageable with that run.
Here comes third down and 7. Howell throwing on third down here. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on third down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
This is taken at the 15. 39-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And it will be first and 10 as they take over. The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. Excellent job by their defense to force the punt and provide them with this opportunity, all tied in the fourth quarter. Here's first and 10.
Here we go. Good.
Starting on the ground with Herbert. And he is going to lose yardage here.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks. And when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back.
Here we go.
They've got a second down now as they search for a score to break this tie. Out of the gun, Fields. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Jonathan Allen, the former first-round pick, getting in there to bring him down. Now Charles dealing with a third and long. They'll have to try to go back to the air again, and this time avoid the sack.
Certainly hard to try to establish momentum when all you're doing is going backwards, not protecting the passer, and he gets dumped on his backside.
Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give up the middle. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line.
When they get off the field on third down, an excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments and usually only at halftime. But the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in fine style.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Washington ready to try again on offense. They need to get this around the 40 on the other side to get into field goal range. Look at the clock, a decent amount of time here in a tie game. What do?
No panic situation at all. They've got to get a couple of chunk plays, pick up nice bits of yardage.
Target the sidelines.
Target the sidelines because you want to get out of bounds and make sure that clock stops. Because if the clock stays running, that makes things that much tougher for you. It can always bleed out on you.
Here's Howell. Finding Samuel. 2 timeouts still available in this final minute. It's first and 10 now. Howell to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Now the Commanders going to burn the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go in the football game. They'll come up now. This is second and long. Throwing on second and long. Howell, and that's complete to Brown. And he will get a good amount of yardage back on second down, but the clock still runs. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Looking long for Thomas. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. 4 quarters not enough. We're all even, and to overtime we go.
How much fun is this for everyone who's watching the game? How much fun is it for us to see this one get an extra period to get settled?
It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So the first chance of this overtime will go to Washington as we are back underway. And he won't quite make it to the 25. And the Washington offense heading out. All set up for him right now, Charles. Opening possession of overtime. They've got the football. They also obviously have this home crowd behind them in a big way.
They get that extra energy from them, but they've got to be careful not to let that adrenaline get away from them and play too fast or create errors of their own making. Use that energy, embrace it, but make sure they channel it the right way. They've got a chance to go downfield, score a touchdown, and end this game.
I know it was a game, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there, because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
Here's Rodriguez now on second down.
And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
And they need 5 yards on third down here to keep this opening drive of OT alive.
Out of the gun, it's Howell. Oh, and that's so close to being intercepted. That could have been a big turnover in overtime if he had held on. Instead, though, it is still fourth down.
Here's Tressway now. On for a very important punt here in overtime. That's taken on the 25.
Nice punt, but good work on the return to get back 11 yards. And they will take over first and 10.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field.
Well, their defense did the job, got off the field without giving up any points. And now, Charles, all they need here is a field goal, and they get the victory.
Yeah, and this is the way I love overtime. I'm one of those really, really old school guys that like sudden death right from the beginning. Well, we've got it now because any points wins the game. On defense, get a safety, a pick six, fumble return, you can win it as well. So I'm really looking forward to this series and see how both sides play.
Calling a gain of 3 on the play, and that's going to bring up second down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion and would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
They'll come up now, 3rd and 3. And they'll try and run the option to pick it up.
He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Here's Riley Dixon now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. $39 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return.
The Washington offense set to take over.
And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out a way to disrupt these offenses. And typically, one guy makes a big play, and that can help change things.
They'll be looking for disruption on both sides right now.
They'll start on the ground with Gibson. Pass the 20 for a short gain, 2nd down.
This being their 2nd opportunity in overtime, 3rd overall drive. See if they can settle into a rhythm.
And that's what you're looking for. Get a few first downs, move the ball downfield, have some confidence, get yourself in a spot where you can at least kick a field goal to win it. But I tell you this, if I'm the play caller, I'm looking at that part of my sheet that says playmakers. get the ball in their hands, critical situation, now's their time.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
Powell out of the shotgun. He's got his target. That's complete. And he's going to have the Commanders' first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on third down, that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep with the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
Straight ahead, Gibson. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Decided to hand it off that time on the run-pass option.
Appeared to be an easy decision. Just gave it inside. Nice, steady gain.
This 2nd and 4. Second down. Howell now. And he fires one incomplete.
He's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Faking the handoff. Howell. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. And quickly they get to the line.
That's good.
2 minutes left in this overtime session, and still all tied. On first down, Howell. Flushed out right. Targeting Thomas on the out route, making the catch.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Here's 2nd and 3. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout. They'll be down to just one remaining as we step aside here in overtime. Ball on the 39. Here's 2nd and 3. A give up the middle to Gibson. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1. Howell trying to get his offense to hurry up and get set.
3rd and 1.
They'll run with Gibson. Shoves him aside. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. They gave themselves options there on the 3rd down play. We're able to convert on that RPO.
Shows a lot of trust with the guy taking the snap, doesn't it? Because you're counting on him to make the right reads and give the ball where it's supposed to go. And he did on that play.
They'll go again with Gibson to the 27-yard line. And we get a stoppage because, as you can see, a member of the Commanders in some obvious discomfort. The medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. Samuel bringing in the slant. He's padding his already great numbers here in overtime. More importantly, though, moving his guys downfield.
And I think that's exactly what's going through his head right now. Moving them downfield, putting them in a position to win the game. The stats, that's for the fantasy guys. I know they're enjoying that show.
Gets this out quickly to Dodson. And he'll take it from the 18 to the 15. A gain of 3. Well, right now, every little bit of yardage which helps. And they're obviously well within his range. It's just about keeping the football and getting in the right spot.
Know your kicker. As you mentioned, get it to the right spot, the place that he wants to kick it from. And if you do decide to throw the football, it either goes to your team or no one. It's the only kind of throw you make.
That was an excellent come-from-behind victory, Charles, especially there in the fourth quarter. Both offense and defense were clicking. They're going to feel good about this one.
Boy, are they ever, because the deficit they faced certainly wasn't small. They obviously did not give up on that one, and in the end, how about that come-from-behind victory? They'll cherish this one for a while.
So for the Commanders,
it took a while, but they finally get that first win after 4 straight losses. And they'll get the weekend off now as they get a little extra time to prepare to face the Atlanta Falcons. Meanwhile, for the Bears, they'll fall to 1-4 with a loss. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.